Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us once again for an update of what's new in Maple Grove and a report of the last council meeting. With me, Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
A lot to talk about from the meeting. Rather short meeting, but some good points in there and a lot coming up in the city. And of course, we're going to talk snow as we record this. It's that day we beat the record in February.
Yes.
So we'll talk about how the city is handling that in just a minute. Looking at the meeting from the 19th, it was about a half hour long. There were a few items on consent that we wanted to pull out. Nothing pulled on the agenda, but just a few notes of things moving along. And this really is a look ahead, Heidi, at some of the upcoming meetings. You have some things working in the queue ready to go. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so a couple items will be coming forward on March 4th. These are development items that have been in front of the Planning Commission. One is the Christian Brothers Automotive proposal. This is up just kind of out in front of Parnassus up there, 610 Zachary area, just to the south of Dunkin' Donuts there. So kind of a small automotive service facility development. And then the Rush Creek Apartments. This is out at the southwest corner of 101 and Bass Lake Road. This one had come through the process before and received approval. They came back and reduced the unit count, kind of changed some things about the project, so it's coming back through for this amendment process.
Okay, so those are for the 4th, and then look ahead a couple more, or actually one more meeting to the 18th, and it's a sure sign of spring and summer coming, street rehab. Give us an idea of what we're looking at this year.
Yeah, so a little hope, looking forward to street construction, road construction season. So on the March 18th agenda, our 2019 street rehabilitation program will be in front of the council for the public hearing. So those property owners in Maple Grove that will be impacted by this year's program have received notice about that, or will be receiving notice about that shortly. Information about the projects that are proposed, and this will be the night for our public hearing on March 18th.
Okay, we'll prepare for that.
Yep.
One other note that may sound familiar with the Super Bowl a year ago, now it's coming again, another big event in town that the Maple Grove Police might be involved in. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've approved a cooperative agreement regarding public safety related to the 2019 men's and NCAA basketball tournament that'll be held in Minneapolis in early April. And so our police department, much like you mentioned that we did with the Super Bowl, we're providing support to Minneapolis. And of course, the event pays for those expenses for that increased public safety associated with that.
And not uncommon for a city like Maple Grove, other cities in the Northwest area doing the same thing as well.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Let's move ahead to community development. A few items. Again, these are some that have been talked about and now moving through the process. One was a variance that deals with a swimming pool by a lake. Give us a little background and how things went at the meeting.
Yeah, so this is a property on Glacier Lane on Edward Lake. They are looking to add a swimming pool to their backyard, kind of their backside yard. It got into the setback area for the shoreland setback there, but kind of some interesting topography near the lake there. And they provided a good amount of engineering data, and we reviewed that and felt that impact to that shoreland setback would be fine in terms of any impacts to the lake or the neighboring properties. And so staff was recommending approval of this variance, went in front of the Planning Commission and was recommended for approval. So this was its last step in front of the City Council last night and was approved.
Very good.
Yep.
Another item that's been moving along is the Hindu temple and the solar panels. And again, we've talked before about this, really not something that would have had to go to this extent, except where the panels are being located.
Yes.
Give us a little recap and a look at what the council did.
Yeah, so this is really another piece of the Hindu Temple's master plan for their entire site up there, kind of in the northwest quadrant of Maple Grove off of Troy Lane. As you recall, they added some staff housing about a year ago, and as you drive by on 94, you can see that housing there that's now. So these solar arrays would go just kind of to the north and east of that a bit. They asked for the opportunity to place those in the floodway area. So a lot of that, there's wetlands up there, and then there's some floodplain, and then there's a floodway beyond that. So they asked for the opportunity to place that in the floodway, kind of make use some of that lowland up there. So because of that, they had to go through a conditional use permit process, provide a little bit more engineering data, have that information reviewed by the DNR. DNR expressed no concerns. So staff was comfortable with this approach in doing this, but needed it to come through this formal process. So brought forward through the Planning Commission and then approved last night at the City Council.
Very good.
Yep.
Now a report on some things coming up for community development, and as usually the case, if there's a slow meeting like this last one, there's probably some big meetings coming up, and that is the case. First, looking at community development, let's talk about a little staffing news and also what's coming up on the 25th to the Planning Commission.
Yep, so as you'll recall, when Joe Hogaboom joined us in the middle of January, that was part of kind of a broader restructuring for our community and economic development efforts at the city. So we're kind of finishing up some of those changes. So Peter Vickerman has formerly been our city planner for about 10 years, and so his position is now changed to planning manager. So he'll be overseeing the planning functions of the city. The new associate planner position is out right now, open. We're recruiting for that position. Okay. Or actually, it just closed. I think it just recently closed. Okay. So we'll be bringing forward hopefully a hiring on that in the coming weeks here. Moved our housing assistant position from part-time to full-time, so this kind of rounds out some of that process of getting that new Department of Community and Economic Development all set. So
excellent.
Yep.
And they'll both be busy on the Planning Commission on the 25th. Tell us about a few of the things that are coming up there. One that I know is coming back, and another one that sounds relatively new relating to signs.
Yeah, so the Shops at Arbor Lakes is coming back with their development stage plans. If you recall, they were in front of us late last year to get concept design approval for changing their pedestrian mall into a through street with diagonal parking, but really kind of amping up the streetscape there and doing some placemaking at those storefronts. They had come back in front of the council in the last few weeks with a workshop to show them kind of the development stage plans and get some feedback, and the feedback was very positive. So now they're bringing that through the formal process for approval, which would then allow them to go forward with construction of those improvements this season. So this will be in front of the council at their it'll be Planning Commission on February 25th, and then come in front of before the council following on that.
And the other on the 25th looks to be some talk about sign packages.
Yeah, so we're doing a zoning text amendment that would give some flexibility for staff to do administrative approval of sign packages for commercial properties. Today they kind of have to present that and come through the council process, so we're looking to make that administrative process.
All right, let's talk again about the 4th then of March. There will be a meeting before the meeting to have a work session. Tell us about some of the items there. Yeah,
a couple items that we're working through here with the council. We've made some security upgrades to the council chambers, so we're going to be talking with council about how that will operate now going forward. Continue our discussion about chambers of commerce and our relationships there and how that's working out. And then also we're bringing back the zoning text amendments on the shoreland and tree preservation items. We had discussion about that in late 2018. It got tabled at the last meeting in 2018 to say, you know what, we need to take a step back and have more discussion about this. So we'll be doing that at the March 4th work session as well.
And it sounds like one other note might be the Village at Arbor Lakes. Some exciting additions that maybe not all the details are out yet, but maybe some other businesses, restaurants coming as well? Yeah,
so they submitted for 3 different buildings that they're going to be constructing in the next coming years. So the 3rd apartment, so there was always 3 buildings envisioned with their Reserve Arbor Lakes project. They're moving forward with that 3rd building, so that's coming forward for design review to get that finished up. And then a small commercial building and a restaurant right at the corner there. So we're really looking forward to those coming through the process, and that's going to kind of, that southern commercial side is really coming around. They got a few more spots in there, but hopefully with the addition of the retail there, the commercial buildings that are there, the bank, the restaurant, the hotels opening up, it'll help kind of that, that inline retail there or commercial space. So yeah, they're moving right along.
Very good. Yep. Now you see why the meeting on the 4th will be a busy one, and we'll be busy recapping it for you. Let's move ahead to engineering and public works. I-94 noise wall and that project moving ahead. A couple different pieces of news here. Yeah, so as you recall, the council voted on those noise walls at their last meeting, kind of made decisions about that from the city perspective, the city's property right ownership in those corridors. So
it also relies on the votes of the residents and,
Right.
and the property owners in those areas. So 2 of the walls are approved to move forward, and then 2 of the walls are going to have to do some revoting, or because there wasn't enough resident property owner votes that came in on those. So more process will come on that. Also on the March 4th meeting, MnDOT will be there to talk about the entire unbonded overlay project, review the layout for that project, and ask for municipal consent. So portions of that construction project will begin this summer. In the summer of 2019, they'll start constructing some of those crossover lanes to allow them to maintain traffic throughout the construction period. So this is kind of a formal step in the process, and we'll learn more about that on March 4th.
All right, some excitement coming ahead for
Yes.
travelers in that area. 2 other notes from Engineering Public Works, one related to solid waste management, another water treatment. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so some fees being passed through the system for garbage haulers, those kinds of things. So you want to take a look on your bill there and take a look at that being passed through from the county. Another piece was the water treatment plant. So we're doing some refurbishment up there at the plant on a lot of the systems and the equipment. We're going to be replacing kind of everything's controlled by a computer system up there in terms of turning pumps on and off and chemicals and those kinds of things. And so replacing that, we're going to have a period of time where we're going to be operating the water treatment plant manually for a number of hours while all of those pieces of equipment get replaced. But really important work that needs to be done every so many years just to maintain the integrity and the quality of our water system. And so this is just kind of that ongoing maintenance that needs to be done.
Very good.
Yep.
Final few items from the meeting on February 19th were your updates, and one is the State of the City. Tell us again about that event, when and where.
Yeah, so this coming up a week from Thursday, so February 28th in the morning, 7:30, kind of a gathering time, like breakfast is served, networking opportunity, and then 8 to 9 is the program. Mayor Stephenson will be presenting a report on the State of the City, and then Shannon Full with the Twin West Chamber will be there to talk about the workforce initiative that we've joined in there with Twin West. So good morning. So far we have about 115 people RSVP'd for this event. We're really excited. Nice cross section of the business community, and a lot of our elected officials here from the state as well. So we're really excited about this morning to kind of gather our business community and think about where we're headed as a community. So information's available on our website and through social media about how to get registered for that event.
Very good. And final note, a few visits to the Capitol sound like they may be coming. Tell us about this time of the year and the Capitol and some of your priorities.
Yeah, so our 2 top priorities that we have bills on in the legislature are the 610 completion, funding for the completion of 610, as well as our North Metro Range expansion project. So we have been meeting with the chairs of those either transportation or bonding committees with our lobbyists to talk about our project and get them the information that they need as they start to prepare to bring bills into the hearing process. So been busy back and forth having those meetings with those chairs and with our local legislators as well. We anticipate that the hearing process will probably pick up here later as we get into the month of March, and so we'll probably be making more trips to the Capitol to testify when we're needed to do so.
Very good. So more to come as that moves along. So that's your recap of the meeting from the 19th. And now let's talk a little bit about what's happening outside. You've noticed there's some snow, record-setting snow, and as we tape this, it's still snowing today. What's the city doing? How are we handling all of this?
Yeah, I think by 1 o'clock this afternoon, the Public Works said we had 7 inches already, so pretty big event. But we knew it was coming, and so Public Works has been out preparing. We do spend a lot of time winging back on those roadways to create more room for storage on the roads, get to the corners, and you've probably seen some hauling out of snow on some of those corners to make some room. So doing the best they can to make space for this, but this is another pretty significant event, and I think it's supposed to snow for a few more hours today, so I don't know if we'll end up with 9 inches or something, but and then more to come over the weekend. So pretty remarkable February that we're having here in terms of snow. With this event, we've been out plowing the mains all day. I just drove over here, and the main roads weren't bad. I think the side roads are going to be a challenge, and we're hoping to get through those neighborhoods yet today. through this afternoon and this evening. We'll
Right.
come back in the morning and do it again, so kind of a 2-plow approach.
Sure.
Because we just really needed to get that initial, dump of 7 inches off the road so people could get home today. So, couple things we're asking for your help with is those fire hydrants. When you're out blowing your driveway out, if you can blow out the area around that fire hydrant, that can really save a lot of time for us in the case of an emergency. We have GPS locators, we know where the fire hydrants
Right.
are, but if they have to dig it out, that's just precious time that it takes, and we really appreciate everybody's assistance with that. We know that garbage and recycling, continues during these snowstorms, and so we ask that we keep those up behind the curb line and you create some space at the end of your driveway for that. And then parking on the streets. We really need to keep folks off the streets overnight, and today we're going to be out plowing, middle of the day, just because there's enough snow that we need to get after it here during the day. So just asking for everybody's patience and cooperation as we work through these different snow events. I think one of the areas that we're really challenged in right now is our sidewalk system. It's deep on either side, and we basically have to snow blow that all off of those sidewalk areas, and so we don't have as much of that as equipment as we have of other smaller equipment that typically does the job.
Exactly.
And so we've been really challenged in that area. So expect that that's going to take us a while to get through all of those trails and sidewalk areas. So. Yeah, and then we'll be back at it this weekend, and maybe we'll get lucky and this one will swing a little.
Let's hope so.
South and east.
Right.
Let's hope for that.
That would be okay.
Unless you love the snow.
Right.
But I think we have enough to do whatever it is that you love to do.
I think that is true. All right,
Yes.
so hang in there, residents.
Hang in there with us.
A couple other items to touch on: job openings. Tell us about some that are still open in the city.
Yeah, so we're adding a part-time passport administrative support clerk. Our passport business, we started about last April, and it's just gone gangbusters. It's been really a well-received service in the community, and we know we're turning away business every week because we have one person right now doing that service. So this will help us with a little bit more flexibility to that scheduling and add some more times to serve the community. And then we're adding a water sewer maintenance 1 position. The passport position is open through March 1st, and then the water sewer maintenance position is open through March 5th, and all that information is available on our website.
Great.
Yep.
You are going to be getting something in the mail in Maple Grove that will make you think about spring, and that is the guide coming from the Park and Recreation folks. Give us an overview of what they might see.
Yeah, so this one is all the spring programs and activities in Maple Grove Parks and Recreation. All the online availability is there for signing up for programs, but we always send that program out or that brochure out, so you have that sitting on the coffee table and are reminded to get those registrations in for all those fun activities coming up.
All right, with that coming out as well, there might be some information about the community center in there, and here's your great chance to get in on the membership at the community center.
Yep.
Kind of an annual event that happens here, right?
Yeah, annual membership sale runs March 10th through the 14th. 15% off that membership, an additional $10 when you register online through the city's website program. There are a couple options in there. One is the all building membership, one is just for the pool, and then one for the ever popular pickleball.
Yes.
So some options in there for you to choose from.
All right, get your calendar out. We have a few dates to remind you of that are coming, one soon, one a little bit later in the year. The first is the soon one, Empty
Yes.
Bowls. Tell us about this cooperative with the city and the school district.
Yeah, so this is a unique event that benefits cross services. It's on Thursday, March 7th, and it's at the community center between 3 and 7:30 to enjoy a bowl of soup and bread, and it is a fundraiser for Cross, and so March 7th at the community center in the afternoon.
Very good.
Yep.
And the event later on during the year, this is in September. This is something the city's been working toward, and there's not maybe the big news we wanted to say today, but there's other news. We've got a date now.
Yeah, so this is kind of the first big event at Central Park, and that big lawn in Central Park there was really designed with this type of a large-scale event in mind. So save the date for Saturday, September 14th for the live concert on the lawn at Central Park. Evening of live music, food, beverages, those kinds of things, and we're hoping to have an announcement of the lineup in the coming weeks.
All
So,
right, I keep
pretty
bugging
exciting.
Heidi, so we'll tell you when we know, when we
Yes.
have that information.
Yes.
Second Canine Naming Contest, a
Yeah.
fun one for everyone to get
Yep.
involved in. Tell us how people can do that.
Yeah, so just saw the Facebook post today. So we have our second canine here. He's in town here with us. He is a 14-month-old Malinois, and he has been partnered with Officer Dave Goggins. So the new canine and Officer Goggins will be heading off to training here in early March, and that's about a 12-week program. So we'll be looking for a graduation coming, probably later in May. They go to the canine training camp in St. Paul. So information is on our social media for the naming contest.
All right, so the picture of the dog is there, so you can take a look and see what it looks like and what the name might have to be.
He's real pretty. He's real pretty.
Fire safety class, we've mentioned this a few times. Again, a couple more dates coming up. Why should people get involved in this?
Yeah, so this is a great opportunity just to learn all things about fire safety for your home. Focuses on smoke alarms, residential fire escape plans, carbon monoxide, those kinds of things. Classes are held from 6 to 7. We have a few dates coming up in March, the 12th or the 28th. We do ask that you sign up in advance so that we know you're coming. We have room for everybody, and you can give a call up to the Government Center, ask for Shannon Burton, our fire prevention educator there, and we'll get you signed up.
All right.
Yep.
One nice part about winter, if there's a nice part about this snowy winter, is what it does to the emerald ash borer, and also opportunity to maybe see where the borer is doing some of its work.
Yes.
How should residents react to this?
Yeah, so we heard that the really cold weather that we experienced a while back, the polar vortex, did a number on these emerald ash borer bugs, which is been reported in the past. So we'll see how much they got knocked back. I guess we'll take that weather and trade for that. But for those, we do know that emerald ash borer is here in Maple Grove, and we have a number of neighborhoods that are already seeing the impacts of that. But winter is a really great time for viewing that possible infestation of the EAB. And the treatment options usually need to be done in late spring and summer. So this is a great time to look for that EAB damage, which is D-shaped exit holes in the bark, vertical cracks or splits in the bark, woodpecker damage. Woodpeckers love to get in there and eat these bugs, and so those are the kinds of things that you'll want to look for on your ash trees. And you can always give a call up to the engineering department if you have any questions. We have a lot of information available on our website as well. All
right, and a final note today, Community Forum on Race. We've talked about this a few times, again, previewing it. Give us another preview. Yeah, so Saturday, March 9th at the Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center, 9 a.m. to noon. Light breakfast will be served at this event. It's a free community event. We do ask that you register for that because there is some limited space. We want to make sure we know the number that's coming. But we do have a keynote speaker kicking us off for the day. It's Minnesota Supreme Court Justice Ann K. McKeague. So I think she'll provide a really nice kickoff to the session. And then there's some breakout discussion points. And this year, kind of a new piece to this event is there'll be an opportunity to pick up a book for kind of a community read that's going to be focused on kind of race discussions around race relations in the community. And so we're really looking forward to this event on March 9th. Very good. And as always, information on the city's website and also on social media. Heidi, thank you very much for the information. Thank you for making it through the snow and getting to us today. Let's leave you with the next meeting date and also the website. Again, a lot of information that you might want to find there about events that are coming up and also some of these things going on in the city and even the emerald ash borer. See it at the top of the screen. Next meeting is on March 4th, 7:30 at the Government Center. City phone number at the bottom and 533-1710 the viewer response line with questions or comments about the program. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks again for joining us.